In this tutorial, we'll be going over an example of when the measurement tool would come in handy in Inkscape. And the example we'll be working with in this lesson is the Gmail logo. Now this is a rasterized PNG image that I have copied and pasted into Inkscape. If I zoom in here, you can see the pixelation. Let's say we wanted to trace a vector copy of this logo to work with. The way that you would normally do that is by creating individual shapes. In this example, it would be rectangles that make up the design here. Now the problem with the Gmail logo is that these lines here go at an unusual angle. Normally when you're working with Inkscape, you can rotate objects in 15-degree increments, or you can rotate them freehand. Now the problem with rotating them freehand is that you'll have to guess what size the rectangle has to be before rotating it, otherwise it won't be accurate. So this is where the measurement tool comes in handy. So I'm going to click on the logo to select it, and I'm going to bring down the opacity in half just so I can see the measurements that I'm taking on top of it. And then I'm going to zoom in here, and I want to take a measurement of this line right here to find out what this angle is. And to do that, I'm going to use the measurement tool, which is located over here in the toolbar, or you can access it by pressing the letter M on the keyboard. And with that tool enabled, I'm going to bring my cursor over to the edge of the line here, and I'm going to click and drag a line that goes along the edge of the logo there. And as you can see, the measurement that I'm working with is 37.14. Now this isn't totally accurate, so I'm just going to change this a little bit just to make sure it's flush against the edge there. Okay, now we have a more accurate measurement. This angle right here is 36.95. So I'm going to remember that number, and now I'm going to create guides and change the angles of those guides to match that right there. So let me go back to my selection tool. Now I'm going to enable the ruler on my canvas so that I can create my guides. If you're using Windows or Linux, you can get your ruler by pressing Control R, or if you're using Mac, you could press Command R, and there we have the ruler on the screen. So with the ruler enabled, I'm going to bring my cursor to the top edge of the ruler and click and drag down to create a guide like that. And now I'm going to change the angle of this guide by hovering my cursor over it until it highlights red and then double clicking it. And then we'll get this menu here where we can change the angle. If you see right here, we have angle, and the angle is set to 0. So I'm going to change this to my measurement, which is 36.95, and I will press OK. And now I can take this guide and I can place it up against the edge of the design there. And now I can make a duplicate of this guide. I can double click it again, and I can go to duplicate. And I can take this duplicate copy and I can place this on the bottom edge right here. Let me just move in a little closer here and make sure that that is a little more accurate. Okay, that's better. Now you may be wondering if we have to create more guides for this side. Normally we would, but with this design is symmetrical, so we won't have to do that. We can just create the left-hand side and then make a duplicate copy and mirror it over here to the right-hand side. So we're good with these guides as it is. Let's trace the rest of this logo. I'm going to grab my Bezier pen by pressing B on the keyboard. And I want to make sure I have the proper setting enabled. And I'm going to start the line halfway through the design right here. First, let me turn on snapping so I can snap to the guide. I'm going to snap right there, and then hold Control and bring the line straight up to the other guide and click again. And then I'm going to bring this line all the way out here. I want this to really stick out far because we're going to trim off the edges. I'm going to bring this out here, and then I'll snap to this line again, and then I'll come back to the starting point over here like that. And now we've completed the shape. So now let's complete the rest of the design. I'm going to turn off snapping. Let me fill in this shape here. I'm going to give this a color. I'm going to remove the stroke by holding Shift and clicking this red X down here. And I'll bring down the opacity of this as well so I can see what's going on beneath it. And now I'm going to create another shape for this leg of the logo right here. I'm going to come over here to my rectangle tool, and I'm going to click and drag to create a rectangle that goes over the top like that. And I want this to stick out as well. And then I'm going to zoom in on this. Let me make this a different color so I can differentiate it. And I'm going to grab my select tool and I'm going to come down here and zoom in a lot just so I can make sure that I get an accurate placement on the edge of the logo there. And I did that for the bottom edge. I'll come over here and do this for the right edge as well. I'm going to change this width right here. And then I'll do the same over here for the left edge. I'm going to make sure everything is accurate, or as close as it can be. Sometimes it's a little difficult when you have pixelation. And now I'm going to trim off these unwanted edges. There's various ways that we can do this, but for this particular logo, I'm just going to select both of these objects and go to Path and select Fracture. And now I can take this object and get rid of it. And then I can take this object right here and get rid of that as well. And now we can turn off the visibility of the guides because they're just getting in the way now by pressing the vertical bar key. So I'm going to hold shift and press the vertical bar key to turn off their visibility. And now let's round these edges. So let me zoom in on this. If you notice now we have 3 different shapes that make up the left-hand side of that logo. So let me zoom in over here. Let me go to my Edit Paths by Nodes tool. And I'm going to enable the corners live path effect. And we're going to get these round knots here. And I'm going to take this round knot and I'm going to click and drag this down until this corner matches the contour of the logo there, just like that. And that looks pretty good. So I'll finalize that by going to Path and selecting Object to Path. And then I'll come down here and do the same thing. I'm going to click on this object and I'm going to enable the live path effect again, the corners live path effect. And then I'll take this knot and then I will bring this down until this matches the contour of this left-hand side right there. And then I'll finalize that by going to Path, Object to Path, and now we can zoom out. And at this point, the left-hand side of the design is finished. We now just have to duplicate it and mirror it to the other side. So let me grab my selection tool. Let me take all of these objects and move them over here. Let me bring the opacity of them all the way up. And then I'll bring the opacity of the original logo all the way up as well because we're going to color this in a minute. And I'll move this over as a matter of fact so I don't run out of canvas space. And now I'm going to duplicate this. I'm going to right click it and go to duplicate. And I'm going to bring this over here. I want to flip this horizontally with this button right here, or you can just press the letter H on the keyboard. And I'm going to enable snapping again. And I'm just going to snap these two together. And now I want to unify these two pieces together because this is actually one piece, as you can see in here. So I'm going to select this object, hold shift, select this object, and go to Path, Union. And now all we have to do is select each object and grab our dropper tool and change its color. So I'm going to start with this object right here. I'm going to grab the dropper tool, which is located over here, or I'm just going to use a keyboard shortcut, which is the letter D. And then I will just sample that area right there to make that the same color. And then I'll go back to my select tool by pressing the letter S, select this object, and then back to the dropper by pressing the letter D. And I'll do the same thing. I'll just toggle back and forth between those two tools and fill in the rest of my colors like this. And just like that, we have created a vector copy of the Gmail logo. So that's just one example of when the measurement tool can come in handy in Inkscape. If you found this lesson useful, then consider checking out my Inkscape Masterclass. It's a collection of over 60 videos where I go over all of the tools and features in Inkscape and I explain what they are and demonstrate how they work. Kind of like how I did in this video. We even have a private community where you can ask questions and get help from me anytime you want. And best of all, there's no monthly membership fees. You just pay $17 one time and you're in for life. I'll have some information about that down below if you want to check that out. As always, thanks for watching.